Hi, John. It's so good to be here at your home. I'm so excited to see. How long have we been talking about doing this visit?
2013.
2013.
12 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when that was our first visit, my first visit
when
here.
There wasn't a log home. It was like a half of first floor logs were up. That was
Yes,
it.
yeah.
It was log raising.
The log
That
raising.
was pretty cool.
That was the most fun log raising I think I've ever been to. We had so many people come, and remember
Yeah.
it was such a big audience.
And Omer, I think our builder, Omer, and his daughter was here, and his sons, I think, were here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Tell us about what made you decide to build a log home.
Well, we've wanted a log home ever since we've been married. We've been thinking about it for a long, long time. And I was in the Marine Corps for 20 years. We got out of the Marine Corps. We started looking for a property. That was the hardest part of this whole deal, was finding a place to build a log home. And I think that's part of the hardest part of any log home, is finding the place
The
to
right
put
spot.
it. The right spot, yep. So we looked all the way down to Kentucky, and we couldn't find anything. We finally gave up. And then a few years later, we saw an ad in a country magazine by a gentleman named Bill Zeiker, who dealt in rural properties. So I called him up and I talked to him and I told him, here's what I'm looking for, Bill. I want to find a property about 3 to 5 acres on a lake within about an hour's drive of St. Louis. And it's got to be secure because we're not going to be there all the time. And so about a week later, he calls me and says, John, I got some properties for you to look at. So we drove out there, and we looked at a couple properties down the road here, and we walked onto this property. As soon as we walked onto this property, Fran and I said, this is it. This is what we've been looking for. So we decided we wanted to build a log home on this property. They didn't know. I said, first, how much do you want for the property? They said, we don't know. We'll let you know. I said, well, that's kind of strange.
Yeah.
So they let us know what they wanted, and we said, well, we'll give you like $15,000 less than that. And they said, okay. And then we went to the closing place in town. It was so easy. We gave them a personal check.
Well, I guess you couldn't run off with the property, so it was pretty secure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything about it was so simple.
Good.
And so a week later, we owned the property.
Wow,
And
that's fast.
It was really fast. Yep. And the first thing we tried to do, it was in 2013, was find somebody to clear the property. So we found a gentleman who cleared the 125-foot driveway and cleared about an acre of the 3.5 acres for the house. And it turns out he was a Marine, just like I was. So we got along great, and he did a fabulous job for us. But we had a fire going for 3 days and 3 nights, 60-foot logs on the fire. I thought it was going to burn the whole subdivision down. But it didn't, and we cleared the property, and then we waited till the next year to start the log home process. We saw these log home built along 70 near Kingdom City, and so we thought we've got to go take a look at the log homes. And we did, and we were very impressed, and we met Lynn, and one of the things that impressed us the most was they use oak logs. And we loved oak because oak is so much stronger and disease resistant, and it literally, if you take care of it, will last 1,000 years. They last forever. And that's kind of our thought process, is build something that will last for a long, long time. So we met Lynn, and we decided we were going to go with log homes. And then Lynn had a person on staff who would be the architect, and my brother's an architect. So between the two of them, we picked out one of the homes that was small. It was like just a 1-story, 2-story, but maybe 1,000 square feet. I don't remember. It's the one next to the big house.
The Hideaway.
The Hideaway.
Yeah, it's about 1,100 square feet.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, this is perfect. And I was immediately voted down by Fran, my wife, and David. Said, no, it's too small. So we eventually decided on a Julianna, which was, as we built it, was about 1,200 square feet. But with the basement that's finished, it's about 1,330 square feet, which we built it big enough so that we could have our family and friends come and visit us and stay with us, which we love to do.
Now, this is 1,200 square feet on the main level, and you still have a second floor up above. So you've got about 17 or 1,800 square feet, not counting your basement.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 1,200 on the first floor.
1,200 on the first floor, right, and 800 on the second. So 2,000 and another 1,000, 1,300 in the basement.
Well, it's a good thing you did build one that size. You've got room for all these beautiful antiques you've got in here.
Yeah,
If you built a smaller one, you wouldn't have room for
No,
any of them, would
exactly.
you?
Oh, shoot.
Tell us about you after you had the foundation put in, and then tell us about your builder.
Well, our builder was Omer Yoder, who was a fantastic craftsman, and his boys. And so we went to a log raising, and we watched Omer work for a half a day. And my brother came with us. He's the architect, and he's built a house before. And we both decided right away we have to have Omer build a house for us. And we're so glad we did, because he did a fabulous job.
And you had him put the shell up, basically the structure up.
Yep.
And then you came inside, and you've done the majority of the work on the inside, haven't you?
Yeah, almost all the work. It only took me like 10 years so far. A couple more years and I'll be done. Maybe. It's been a real pleasure building it, because first of all, I love working with wood, and it keeps me busy. And I think once you retire, I retired like in 2010, so it's been my big full-time project. I come out here just about every day, and then spend the night. And I love working. I love looking at the lake. I love relaxing. I don't fish. I don't do much else out here. Sometimes I swim a little bit. But mainly, I just enjoy working.
Oh, you've done so many cool things in here.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
it's been so much fun.
Yeah. I loved hearing all the stories of where all the different things have come from,
Yeah,
because you got a lot of building materials for free from people tearing houses down.
Yep.
And people,
Lynn, if you look at the framework around the door, it's quarter sawn oak, which is beautiful and very expensive. And our best friends rebuilt their house, or knocked their house down and built a big house, and gave us a lot of quarter sawn oak. And they gave us all the oak that's along the floorboards here. It's all from their house. Almost everything in the house, every room in the house has something from friends of ours that they gave us. And it saved us a huge amount of money. But it's so nice living here, because not only do we have the satisfaction of building the place ourselves, but all the stuff in it is from our friends.
right.
Which is really cool.
You're really a testament to your life. Well, it's what's wonderful is that you've got all your friends here with you in your home, is to remind you. I particularly love your door that you.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
That door is gorgeous.
Yeah.
That came out of a friend's home, and then all your interior doors from that same friend.
Yes. There's always stuff to redo again, and it's just it's so much fun working. Especially, I love working with wood. Especially working with wood, because if you make a mistake, you can do it over again.
You got a great shop downstairs.
Yeah, I have a lot of good tools.
Yes, yes.
So,
Another thing, I like a lot of our customers do that safe room like you all did. Your front porch, you did a concrete slab for your porch floor, and then
Yes.
you put the basement underneath there, so you have a safe room. So in case we have a tornado or an earthquake or something.
yeah, all our neighbors here said, if anything happens, we're coming to your house.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this log home is going to be here,
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, Omer, when he built the house, I told him, Omer, would you have any problem if I went around and put screws in everything after you're done putting it down? He goes, no. So I probably put an extra 1,000 screws in the floors. You may have noticed there's not a squeak in the floor anywhere.
No, there's not.
And I put hurricane, I can't remember what they're called.
Hurricane clips?
Hurricane clips on each side of the rafters, on every rafter in the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's what we do when we have high wind zones, like along the coast. We always have to spec that out.
Yeah,
so you did that here, huh?
Absolutely. Yep.
That is actually hurricane clips are pretty simple.
They're real simple. Yeah.
They're real simple
to
do.
Them in.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
everything is screwed, not nailed.
Well, yeah. Every time we've had a house hit by a tornado, the only thing that's happened has been that the roof of the porch comes off.
Oh.
Because the wind gets underneath the porch and can lift it up.
Yeah.
But if you've got those hurricane straps on there, the porch rafters are connected to the roof rafters, and it'll probably hold your porch on too.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun watching Omer build the place. And David, my son, was spent a summer here helping us, and we told Omer we want to put at least one or couple of logs up. So he said, okay. He let us put one log up. And it was so hard. When we got done, we said, okay, thanks, Omer.
We don't need to do anymore.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We'll watch you do the rest of this.
Oh, my God. Because, some of these logs are like 16 feet long and 8 feet by 8 inches by 8 inches, and you cannot believe how heavy they are.
Yeah.
The beam that goes across the roof to hold up the roof from the second floor is it's a, what do you call it?
Glue lam beam.
Yeah.
Glue lam.
It's glued together, strips of wood, and it's probably, what's the dimension?
It's probably 40 foot long.
Oh, yeah, it's 40 foot long, and by what? 8 by
That's probably
4?
It's probably 6 by 14 or something like that. Yeah.
So the one day that I didn't come here when Omer was building the house was the day they put that piece up there. And I don't know how in the world they ever got a 40-foot long piece of wood up probably 25 feet in the air to hold up the roof. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And Omer called.
Kind of like building the pyramids, right? How did they do that?
Yeah, exactly. He called Lynn and Lynn said, you can cut it if you need to. But he said, no, I think we'll put it up for all, one piece. And they did.
Yeah.
So it was fantastic.
Roof support posts in the middle. You could cut it over one of those posts, but if you can put it up in one piece, then you just don't have to do that, So
So that's what he did.
It takes a lot of winches, winching it up, and
they had a big forklift. I mean, a really big forklift.
Right.
And that's how they used to, lift it up there.
Right.
But still, you're talking a massive job.
Right. Well, you're on a hill here. He probably got on the upside of the hill, and he was that gave him a little bit more height advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We hadn't filled in the foundation yet, around the foundation when Omer started, so it was a little risky for him at the north end of the house because it was an open trench about 5 feet wide and 8 or 10 feet deep. They had to walk over, so it wasn't easy. Plus, when they delivered the logs, the guy wouldn't come down Mockingbird Lane. It was a gravel road, and turning around would have been tricky, so he dumped the logs on Panther Ridge, which is about a half a mile up the street. And so there was $100,000 plus worth of logs sitting on the road. It took Omer 3 days to bring them down to the job site.
If you were going to be building your house again, is there anything you would do differently?
No, I don't think I would do anything different, Lynn. I love the place the way it is, and it's so comfortable. And we did a closed cell foam insulation, which was very expensive, $25,000.
Roof in the roof,
9 inches in the roof, 5 inches in the walls in the second story.
Right.
But it's worth every penny because it keeps the place comfortable all year round.
Right.
And the lake is to our south, which is the siding of the house is perfect because the big windows face south. So when that sun comes up, it warms the whole house. And the logs, they warm up. In the wintertime, they warm up, and they keep their heat throughout the night, which is nice. So it's a very comfortable living. And then the other thing we did, we used geothermal heat and air conditioning, which was a fabulous. I would always do it again in a minute because it's a great system. It's so cheap. I mean, our heating bills and our electric bills average about $100 a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Comfortable heat and air conditioning. Very nice.
Right. That spray foam for the roof, the prices have actually gone down on that because it's become more popular.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's really it used to be a lot more expensive than like fiberglass or solar. Now it has come down. So that's a lot of our people do use that's foam insulation.
Plus it's structural. I mean, it's so strong, which is an added benefit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What is your favorite thing about the house, do you think?
Oh boy, there's so many. I just love the whole house.
Yeah. Well, I tell you one of my favorites.
What is it? Oh, the Harry Potter room?
The Harry Potter room.
Yeah. We have a bedroom underneath. It's actually a 5-story, 5-bedroom.
Yes, it's a 5. That's right. It's not a 4-bedroom. It's a 5-bedroom with the Harry Potter room.
Harry lives under the stairs going down to the basement.
It is so cute. Got this little door. The door came off of a boat.
Off a sunken Chris Craft boat. Yep. It's only about a 3.5 foot tall door, and it's wood, And it's really perfect for that.
It is. It's perfect. You
Yeah.
climb in there, and there's a bed in there and a little seat with some books. And
Now, I have to admit, that's the only room in the house I haven't slept in yet. All the other rooms I've slept in. I'll have to go down there and sleep in it sometime.
well, I know my grandsons would love that
Yeah,
room.
they would. It's such a
They
cool
would
room.
love that room. Yes.
Everything is designed so that we can never have to leave the first floor if we don't want.
Right.
So that's, we designed that when we get old and feeble, we just stumble around the first floor. Well, one of the things I made, I want to show you downstairs. I made some cutting boards for people from leftover logs I've had and some of the tiger wood that my friend gave me. And if you want, I'll make one for you if you want. It's a serving board, or you can use it as a cutting board, whatever you want.
Well, you make it, and we'll put it at the Model Home Center.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
That would
Okay,
be awesome.
I'll do that.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be
So-
great. We'd love that. It's hard to believe that Model Home Center's been there 25 years.
Wow.
We just put in new appliances and try to keep it updated just so it doesn't look like it's 25 years
No,
old.
it doesn't.
It doesn't, but we're actually right now we're putting new windows in.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we have putting new Pella windows in because we
Wow.
switched window manufacturers and we use Pella now, so we're putting all new windows in. So
Okay.
that's quite a project
Wow,
to do all
bet.
that. So
It's interesting when you build a log home, the logs all shrink about 2.5 or 2 inch, two to 2.5 to
your
3
wall height,
inches.
your wall
The
height should about two to
because
2.5 inches.
you got 16 logs piled on top of each other and they're heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So you have about a 3-inch gap above the doors and the windows, so that the logs don't crush the door and crush the windows.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all hidden by it's pretty neat different ways to hide that, but it's certainly true. And on the inside walls, the 2x4s, there's a 12-inch screws that are used to put the logs together. Logs are glued and screwed together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a solid sheet, almost like a
Like
sheet.
a big Pearland beam, like a big glue lamb beam, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so strong. Like in the laundry room, the beams are exposed. You can tell people this is how the inside rooms are built.
Mm-hmm.
There's a gap, and the inside 2x4s are not bolted or screwed right or nailed right into the beams in the ceiling here. They're screwed in as the logs settle down. The screws come down below the 2x4s.
Mm-hmm.
So
Inside that cavity.
Yeah, exactly. So when they're accessible, I tighten them up.
Yeah, the whole system is designed to allow for that, because if you do that, then your logs stay tight. You don't get gaps in between the logs. I noticed on your corners, you can see how tight your logs are, still stacked on top of each other. And that's the whole thought process behind our wall system is, we don't care how much it settles. We don't want to hinder the settling, because if you let it settle, then the logs will stay tight and you won't have to go back and do a bunch of recaulking and that kind of thing.
And the inside corner is a beautiful feature.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Yeah, the saddle notch. I thought it was the strongest way to make the corners, because the logs are notched and sit on top of each other and they can't move.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, then it probably took me 8 hours to sand all of those inside corners to make them like glass, and you can see the veins of each log on the corners, and it's a beautiful feature. I just love it.
I think that's one of the things that makes a log home so strong. You talk about going through hurricanes and tornadoes and everything, is the way those corners interlock, because think about a conventional frame house, how they build them, and all you're doing is nailing some 2x4s and maybe put a piece of plywood on each corner, and that's all there is to it. Whereas these, they're actually interlocked together and overlapping, and so it creates a tremendous amount of strength.
It's all bolted down to the first layer above the foundation. It's a 12-inch foundation, by the way, the concrete. And there are J-bolts in the concrete, and then the sill plates are bolted to the concrete. Mm-hmm. So the first logs are then screwed into the sill plate. So I can't imagine what kind of wind it would take to move this structure. The specs we use, the house has to withstand a Category 5 tornado. It has to withstand a 100-foot tsunami. It has to withstand a Category 8 earthquake and a zombie attack. And that was the specs. So the bottom line is we overbuilt everything.
Yeah.
Everything we could to build stronger, we did. It's been a pleasure working here and living here and building things the right way and doing things the strongest and the best way you possibly could. And that was part of the joy of having Omer. That's the way he works.
Mm-hmm.
He does a great job. So
I'm trying to figure where that 100-foot tsunami is going to come from. I don't think that lake will give us a 100-foot
probably
tsunami.
not, but you never know.
The zombies I can see maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, shoot.
You know, that's one of the things that we do different than any other log home company that I know of is that we run the logs around the subfloor versus setting them on top of the subfloor. And the main reason we do that is so that we can use a J-bolt in the top of the concrete so that we can bolt that first row of logs down to the foundation. Because the foundation is, directly tied to your footers, and then the foundation can support all the weight because the logs are heavy, like you said, but also it's carrying the floor beams, it's carrying the roof, it's carrying the dormers, it's carrying all of that.
Sure.
And so, it's better for it to sit down on the foundation. And then the subfloor sits on the inside of the logs, and that also gives you a insulated wall around your subfloor so you don't get air infiltration there, and it looks better. You don't have to. When I see a lot of other log home companies, they set them on top of the foundation, and then they put log siding or something around the subfloor, and it doesn't have the corners, so you can tell it's siding going around the subfloor. It just doesn't, to me, it's just a little detail. I'm picky about that kind of stuff.
Why would you do that?
Well, everybody else does. So I always say that's kind of the advantage of owning the company. If I say I like it better this way, that's the way we have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the nice thing about building a log home. The citizens of St. Genevieve, where we built the house, they don't have any zoning, so you can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And we did everything according to code. There was a few exceptions, but we did it the right way, build it as strong as possible. Mm-hmm. And that's what we did. So we just love the place. Thank you, Lynn. And Lynn has been a great person to know, and her company has been fantastic because during the process of building a log home, whenever we needed something, whether it be an extra log or something else, she would have her guy, Bob, drive it here, and the next day it would get here. In the whole process of building the place, we were never held up for any reason from having not enough logs or anything like that. It never happened. So it was fantastic. Lynn has been a great person to know, and I would strongly suggest if you decide to build a log home, go with Lynn. She's fantastic.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
It's been wonderful working with you and Fran both and getting to know you and hear about all your experiences in life and experiences in building your house and it's truly rewarding. As I keep saying, that's why I'm still in business. I could have retired a long time ago, but I just enjoy talking to people and hearing about what they're doing and helping people get their dream.
Yep.
We love to build houses here in Missouri. Only about 40% of what we sell stays in Missouri. Right now, we have houses under construction from California, Oregon, New Jersey, North Carolina. We actually have a house being built on an island off the coast of Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, is that cool?
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
we had to take everything over on a ferry.
That'll be cool when you go visit that place.
I want to go see that one. Yes, definitely want to go see that one. And we have another couple getting ready to build a house up in Alaska. We got another one going to Alaska. So we just ship them everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, but I love it when we get one that stays in Missouri.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Well, we have friends in Alaska who helped us build David's house, and he and his wife are thinking of finding a place in Alaska. And of course, I'll tell him about you if he decides to build a log home.
Yeah. What other projects do you have left to do on your house? What have you've got just about everything done, don't you? You talked about building a greenhouse outside so you can grow vegetables.
Build a greenhouse outside after this year's growing season's over. And I got to finish the basement bathroom. I want to put a sauna back there in the bathroom. And I've got a portable shower, but I'm going to probably cut that in half and get it out of there and have a tile shower put in and make it really nice. So those are the main things to do. Not much left to do. Last year or two I spent mostly working outside because, we're basically taking care of probably 2 acres. and it's a lot of work to keep it nice.
You've done a beautiful job here. All the rock work and everything that you've
Thank you.
done, and everything's gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, it's come along.
Really beautiful flowers and landscaping. What you said, you planted 1,000?
We planted 1,000 flowers. The deer ate about 500 of them. so we're replanting. Figure which ones they don't like. But they like most flowers, unfortunately.
Have you asked them?
Yeah, they like most flowers, unfortunately. Well, I bought a bunch of deer deterrents, none of which work, except my friend Stumpy is a scarecrow. I call him Stumpy because his legs are very short, but he wears one of my old T-shirts and a hat, and I'm going to make a gun for him out of wood so he can protect himself because he's a strong proponent of the Second Amendment.
Well, I liked your raised bed out there also.
Oh yeah, the raised bed. Yeah.
Yeah, you took a metal bed, put the headboard and the footboard at both ends of it, and then that's your raised bed.
That's our raised bed. Yep.
for your
It's
garden.
fun growing. The other raised bed is just a stone bed, but I added about a foot of third layer of stone on it this year, and it's much better. You don't have to bend over. It's very easy to work. And it'll never, like the wood bed is probably, let's see, it's younger than the stone bed, but it's about gone.
Mm-hmm. Put the dirt up against it, right?
Yeah, the dirt will rot it out. So once we get the greenhouse built, I asked my brothers who are great, and his son who's a genius with tools and everything, we'll build the first probably 3 feet of concrete, and then build the back wall of wood, and the other walls will be Lexan. I've already got the door for it at our house in St. Louis.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, I bought it from a restore. I was looking for something else, but I saw that door and I go, oh man, that'd be perfect for a greenhouse. So that's probably this fall. And our concrete guy was very busy, but he said, I'll fit you in, John.
One of the things that I love on your house is the stamped concrete porch floor that you did.
Yeah, I love
Looks
that.
just like big timbers. Even on the end of it, you can see the heart of the tree and the rings and everything. It's a perfect stamp job. I love that.
And the stamps came from a railroad trestle in Oregon somewhere.
Oh, really?
And they show the nail holes. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about it is, it'll never go away. It never needs to be stained.
Right.
Never needs to be redone. It's just there.
Right.
And underneath it is a room that's 7 feet wide and 20 feet long, and it's our safe room.
Right. Right.
So we don't use.
Well, now that is the one thing we could tell everybody. You're looking for some kind of a vault door, or a bank door, or gun safe door, or something that you can put on your safe room door. So if anybody out there knows of one, give us a call and we'll get you connected with John.
Okay.
Maybe we could find you a door.
That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, this has been such a fun time. Thank you so much for letting us come down and see you and see your home and get to see all the different things that you've done. It's truly amazing.
Oh,
You've done an awesome job.
Thank
you guys
you,
have both done just such a good job of putting all your family heirlooms and stories. Everything in here's got a story.
Yep. Well, Fran did a great job. Not only in the house, but on the landscaping. She did a lot of the weeding and the flowering and planting, which is very helpful. Thank you, dear. You're terrific.
Yeah. It is beautiful. It's really, really pretty. So
Thank
peaceful.
you.
So peaceful here.
It's so peaceful and quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when I'm working down here, I don't think of anything else. I just think of what I'm doing, what I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not stressed in any way at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a peaceful way of living, probably like it was in the old times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, John, and to Fran for sharing your home with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. It's our pleasure.
And I'm so glad that we came, and this has been a true joy.
Oh, good. Thanks, Lynn.